a father's heart. The evening light filtered through the tall windows of Romano's, casting golden shadows across the pristine white tablecloths. Marcus Whitfield adjusted his navy suit jacket for the third time, his dark eyes scanning the elegant restaurant with practiced assessment. As CEO of Whitfield Technologies, he was accustomed to five-star establishments, but tonight felt different. Tonight, he was here for his daughter. 4-year-old Emma sat beside him, her small hands clutching her favorite teddy bear, a worn, honey-colored companion named Mr. Buttons. Her blonde hair was carefully braided and she wore her best blue dress, the one with tiny flowers that she insisted made her look fancy like Daddy. Marcus had brought her along to this blind date reluctantly, knowing that any woman who wanted to be part of his life would need to accept that Emma came first, always. "Daddy, when is the lady coming?" Emma whispered, her bright eyes darting toward the restaurant's entrance. Marcus glanced at his watch. 7:15. His date was already 15 minutes late. "Soon, sweetheart," he murmured, though doubt crept into his voice. His assistant had arranged this meeting with someone from the charity board, a woman named Victoria Hartwell, daughter of a prominent judge. On paper, she seemed perfect, educated, wealthy, socially connected, everything his late wife Sarah would have wanted for him. But as the minutes ticked by, Marcus felt the familiar weight of loneliness settling on his shoulders. Since Sarah's passing 3 years ago, he had thrown himself into work in Emma's care, building walls around his heart that seemed impossible to breach. This dinner was meant to be a step forward, a gesture toward the future his friends insisted he needed to embrace. The restaurant's atmosphere hummed with quiet conversation and the gentle clink of silverware. Crystal chandeliers cast warm light over couples sharing intimate meals, their laughter mixing with the soft jazz playing in the background. Marcus watched Emma trace patterns on the white tablecloth with her finger, her presence the only thing keeping his anxiety at bay. "Excuse me, sir." Marcus looked up to find a young woman standing beside their table, wearing the restaurant's crisp white uniform. She had warm brown eyes and auburn hair pulled back in a simple ponytail. Her name tag read Sarah, a detail that made his breath catch unexpectedly. "I'm so sorry to bother you," she continued, her voice soft but professional, "but I noticed your little one has been waiting for a while. Would she like some coloring pages? We keep them for children who are dining with us." Emma's face lit up immediately. "Yes, please," she exclaimed, then remembered her manners. "I mean, yes, please, Miss." The waitress Sarah smiled, and Marcus felt something shift in his chest. Her smile was genuine, unguarded, reaching her eyes in a way that transformed her entire face. "I'll be right back with some crayons too," she said, her attention focused entirely on Emma. As she walked away, Marcus found himself watching her movements. There was grace in her step, despite the practical shoes and simple uniform. She moved through the restaurant with purpose, checking on other tables with the same gentle attention she had shown Emma. "She's nice, Daddy," Emma observed, already excited about the promised coloring pages. "Yes," Marcus agreed quietly, "she is." When Sarah returned with a small packet of crayons and several coloring sheets, Emma clapped her hands together. "Thank you. Look, there's a princess and a castle and a dragon. My favorite is the dragon too," Sarah confided, kneeling down to Emma's level. "I think dragons are just misunderstood. They're probably very lonely living in those big castles, all by themselves." Emma nodded solemnly. "Like Daddy sometimes." Marcus felt heat rise in his cheeks, but Sarah's expression remained kind, free of pity or judgment. She simply smiled and said, "Well, it's a good thing dragons have princesses, to keep them company." As Sarah stood to leave, Marcus found himself speaking without thinking. "I'm sorry, but ... are you Sarah?" She paused, confusion crossing her features. "Yes, I am. How did you—" "I'm Marcus Whitfield. I believe I was supposed to meet someone tonight, but—" He gestured vaguely at the empty chair across from him. "It seems plans have changed." Understanding dawned in her eyes, followed quickly by embarrassment. "Oh no, you're waiting for a date. I'm so sorry for interrupting." "I should let you please," Marcus said, his voice more urgent than he intended. "Don't apologize. You've been kinder to my daughter in 5 minutes than most people are in an entire evening." Sarah glanced around the restaurant, then back at Emma, who was already deep in concentration, coloring the dragon's wings purple. "I'm working," she said softly. "I can't just—" "When do you get off?" The question surprised them both with its directness. 9:30, she admitted, then quickly added, "But I'm sure your date will show up. Maybe she's just stuck in traffic." Marcus shook his head. "I don't think she's coming, and honestly... He paused, looking at Emma, then back at Sarah. I'm not sure I mind." The confession hung in the air between them. Sarah's cheeks flushed pink, and she tucked a strand of hair behind her ear, a gesture that struck Marcus as achingly sweet. "I have a break in 20 minutes, she said finally. "Just 15 minutes, but... Would you sit with us, please?" Sarah nodded, her smile returning. "I'd like that." The next hour passed in a blur of easy conversation. During her break, Sarah slid into the chair across from Marcus, and it felt natural, right, as if she had always belonged there. She told him about her evening classes at the community college, her dream of becoming a teacher, her small apartment that she shared with 2 roommates. He shared stories about Emma, about the challenges of single parenthood, about building a company while trying to be the father his daughter deserved. Emma, delighted to have Sarah's full attention, showed off her completed coloring pages and chatted about her preschool, her favorite books, and Mr. Button's many adventures. Sarah listened with genuine interest, asking questions that made Emma giggle and offering her own silly voices for the various characters in Emma's stories. That the evening wound down, Marcus realized he hadn't checked his phone once since Sarah had joined them. The familiar weight of responsibility, of constantly being on, had lifted from his shoulders. For the first time in years, he felt like he could simply be present, in this moment, with these 2 people who had somehow made his world feel complete. We should get back to work, Sarah said reluctantly, as other diners began filtering out. Of course, Marcus stood as she did, then hesitated. Sarah, would you like to have dinner sometime? Somewhere where you're not working? Her smile was radiant. I'd love that. As they exchanged phone numbers, Emma tugged on Marcus's sleeve. Daddy, is Sarah going to be our friend now? Marcus looked at Sarah, saw the warmth in her eyes, the gentle way she had already connected with his daughter, and felt his carefully constructed walls crumble completely. I hope so, sweetheart, he said softly. I really hope so. Walking to their car later, Emma's hand in his and Sarah's number saved in his phone, Marcus reflected on the evening's unexpected turn. He had come looking for someone who fit into his world, but instead found someone who made him want to expand that world entirely. Sometimes, he realized, the best things in life came not from careful planning, but from remaining open to the beautiful. Surprises that appeared when you least expected them. As they drove home through the quiet streets, Emma already dozing in her car seat, Marcus smiled at the thought of calling Sarah tomorrow. Tonight had been just the beginning. You